who present, past, and future sees, whose ears have heard the holy word that walked amongst the ancient trees, calling the lapped soul and weeping in the evening dew, that might control the starry pole and fallen light dew. O earth, return, arise out of the dewy grass. Night has worn, and the morn rises from the slumberous mass. Turn away no more, well, without turn away. The starry floor, the watery shore, is given thee to the break of day. Good to be with you, my friends. It is I, your bard, your spiritual entertainer, coming to you live from the grove. And it is good to see our good friends here, Mills Coolin, ELP, and Derek Bendoverman, and the High Priest of the Mountains, Gwendolyn Aes Sedai, and Madam Goblin Misty is here, all for your entertainment leisure, beginning here. And our good friend from Belgium, Kiki, the servant of Anubis Vixen, all of our wonderful friends here, out in the wilderness here this morning. We're waiting for the sun to rise. It is a beautiful day right now. It's not too hot. It's only about 80 degrees. The days are going away. The days are getting shorter. Usually it's a little, last week it was a little bit brighter when I came out at this time. But the time is slipping away. Lunasa is next week, right? Lunasa is next week. How good to see you. You watched an interview with Whitley Strieber, wrote a book called Communion. Oh, that was quite scary, right? Goblin, nice to see you. Yeah, the aliens can trap our souls, right? Yeah. You know, the alien abduction phenomena to me is a very real experience for people. And I'm always suspect when somebody goes under the hypnosis to discover their secrets. Because when you are in a state of hypnosis, all kinds of things become real to you. So I'm always very cautious when I hear someone. Now, hypnosis is a form of therapy, right? It can be a form of healing, but it can also be a form of manipulation, right? So I'm always suspect with these people who discover that they've been abducted by aliens, right? When they go under, when you're in a hypnotic state, the place of suggestion, you know, you have to understand that your creative faculties are still at work. And if you think you're abducted by aliens, you certainly will be seeing them, right? It's an interest. I'm not saying that this person did not have that experience. I mean, I'm always fascinated by the phenomena. Luke, nice to see you. I'm also fascinated by, you know, things that I've experienced that weren't aliens. They were dark powers, dark entities from my psychological experience. Everything that I saw in terms of entity originates within me. So I can't leave that factor out. I remember this one thing that I saw was, I remember I was in this place and my blanket was all bunged up and it turned into a skeleton. And, you know, that began in here, right? So the idea of your psychology is always playing a part to define whatever experiences that you be. Now, that doesn't make it false. It's a defining factor in people's experiences, right? Luke, glad to have you here, Luke. Alice, nice to see you. I'm about to attack Hogwarts. Yeah. You are fascinated by liking and subscribing. Yeah. We're out here in the grove, you'll hear the birds and the insects. And they're always on time, right? Right when that light hits the crack of the side of the world here, the birds wake up, the insects wake up, right? There's a harmony, right? Nothing's off key, right? Even with the diversity of animals that you hear making all these noises, it's like an orchestra. It is always in harmony in its own way. It has its own beauty in all of the diversity that is here. Have you ever sit and listen when you're out in the wilderness? You can experience that harmony. Um, what's an interesting thing I was thinking about this morning is people who say they're not nature. I'm not a nature person. I mean, that is such a farce, right? The idea that you're not a nature person. Somebody made that shit up. You are a nature person because you are nature, right? This idea of people only like to be indoors, that's unnatural, right? You're amazed at we can conjure up thoughts from one subconscious. We are amazing beings, and that's part of our creativity, right? And we always, these experiences that we have, whatever our psychology is based in the cultural concepts, you're going to see that, right? If you are a Hindu, for instance, and you're having these manifestation of thoughts, you're going to see all types of Hindu deities and things. It's really amazing the power of the collective consciousness and be able to experience the unknown, right? What's interesting is when this shit gets caught on camera, right? When you have these moments of miraculous events that people document, right? Yeah, my internet here is gone in the wilderness, right? So I got these hiccups here. All of that manifestation begins with you. One of the biggest phenomena, a few, in the 1800s or something like that. I said later 1800s was the Roman Catholic miracle of Fatima. Now, if you analyze the events of this experience that many people witnessed, right, you can't just discount it as mass hysteria. But it is mass hysteria in a way, because the collective conscious is functioning by rules, right? Everything of that experience of those people was defined by Roman Catholic theology, right? Now, if that theology wasn't present, you'd certainly have a different face of those experiences, right? And that goes for any type of place where gods appear, right? It's always rooted in the psychology of the people. Why do I have several necks? Well, you should see what's in my pants. I mean, if you think that's something, right? You could see what's in my pants. Why do you have a singular view philosophy, which is being a dick? That's what I want to know. Good morning, Zerg. Good to have you here for your entertainment leisure, our good friend Zerg. You visited Fatima once. You were appalled. An offering block with a paying thing on it. Yeah, the Roman Catholic Church certainly has milked that out, right? I think those manifestations are inappropriate because it paints a picture of a vengeful and wicked God, right? Showing children hellfire and purgatories and things. That's all from their psychological experience, right? Yeah, there are people in history where, miraculous things are these things, right? Zerg is here, and the servant of Anubis, ELP, all of these wonderful things. Voodoo wizard official. Oh, we got another wizard here. Oh, good to have you here. You should know what? What do I need to know, my friend? Fellow wizard. What do you want me to know? What is the pressing issue? My grinder buddy Steve is here. He's always here a little bit early for our dates. Later on today, I'm going to be playing some Halo. The new Halo came out, and I got the early access because I'm special. You get 5-day early access if you got the deluxe package or whatever. So I got that. That was a nice thing. We had got a little bit more money because we had to take out a loan this week. My air conditioner broke, and it's going to cost like $2,000 to fix it. So my wife's like, okay, you can use that to get the deluxe edition of Halo. Yeah, it's been a lot. Nice to see you, Billy. The Halo is a fun game, right? It's got a lot of history, and they remade the original. Um, you know, you can now do multiplayer during the main campaign. You couldn't do that in the first one, right? They certainly had a multiplayer element to it, and they also added bonus material like a prequel. There's a prequel it's called the bonus mission. There's a lot of interesting things. I know some of the other community members want to play with me later on in the week. We're looking forward to that. Venezuela, France, a pilgrim church with nuns. The nuns scolded you. Let's see, scolded you out for crying. My little dog in there. I hated awful women. Yeah, um, they are like um, all of these rules that some religions try to impose on you, and if you don't follow the rules, what are they? You could see their true nature, right? I remember when during the COVID, one of the in my church, the presbyter scolded publicly a young lady who came in without a mask. She never came back to church, right? That was unacceptable for him to do that. Um, there's all of these righteous indignations that you can use, like bringing your dog right into the church. Um, Saint Francis wouldn't have had a problem right with that. Yeah. Frenchy French is here. Good to see you, our good friend. Frenchy French, good to have you here for your entertainment leisure in the morning. Spiritual entertainment, my friends. Here in the wilderness, I am here for you, out here in my grove, waiting for the sun to rise. It is coming up right now. The light is dancing upon the mist here in the background here. It's very misty out, a normal thing. Pretending they are holier than you, yeah. Right, you know you have these experiences, right? Of self-righteous people, right, that rub it in your face, right, that make themselves feel better about themselves by destroying you. I mean, that's a big thing that's always been in religion. And we get those people here all the time, right? We get them here all the time. This is the wiener of America. That's right, United States, Florida. We have retermed the Florida used to be the penis of the United States, but the president changed the name of the Gulf. So I changed the name of Florida to be the reefer of the United States. It is the reefer of the United States. I think that's fair, right? There you are in the background, Misty. It's all misty. You see it? All that mist back there? And the light is beginning to dance upon the horizon here. Are there ticks? Yes, there are ticks out here. I have to be very careful, right? I had it a couple of weeks ago. I had a tick latch onto me, and I took it home with me. It was sucking my blood for 24 hours. So we had to monitor it. You have to monitor it for 30 days. It's all healed. Where I live, there's no Lyme's disease where I am at. I know a wizard when I see one. Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, the idea of a wizard is not separated from that of a bard, right? Bards become wizards, right? That is when we. I'm going to be going in my organization, the Order of Bards, Ovites, and Druids. I'm going to be entering the phase of the Ovite. I have completed my bardic studies. Next week at Lunasa, they're going to have a little ritual for me in my Druid community. And then I'm going to be doing the Ovite studies, and they're like wizards. Ovites are like wizards, right? Kateri, good to see you. Let's see. Ticks dangle from leaf tips to avoid the brushing heads against them. Yeah. This might have been a vampire instead of a tick. Well, that would have been even more funner to have a vampire, latching onto you, right? That would have been much more a better experience than having a tick. Let me tell you, because with a tick, there's all kinds of worries. Am I going to be okay? This is a grove. That's what it is. Yes. Satan rules sleep on daytime and wakes up at night in the middle of the jungle to practice. What does that have to do with anything we're talking about? It doesn't make any sense. Hello, idiot. Nice to see you. You could tell this person's a real idiot by the way they spell their name. So we do welcome idiots here, as long as you're courteous. Yep. Your channel is amazing. You are so interesting. Thank you, Gremlin Ghost. I appreciate you very much. Yeah. Yeah. My channel represents my creativity, right? In all forms and capacities. Like last night, we played Dungeons and Dragons together. That was a really fun one yesterday. We had one of my players had a little bit of a breakdown. They got too much into the character, right? And that was a lot of fun. The aggression of the elf, the female elf against the kobolds. And I made a little video about that if you want to check it out. Called what is it called? D&D Nerds. If you want to look at that video, you could see the aggression of the elf against the kobolds. Just wanted their religious rights, and you had this female elf all getting all pissy at them, wanting to destroy them, right? And this person's supposed to be like lawful good, and wanting to just eradicate kobolds for practicing their religious rights, right? So it's a fun conversation. It's called D&D Nerds. You can watch it. It's about 10 minutes long. You will certainly get a laugh at the creativity of the environment. Tick bites, yeah, they're terrible, right? They just suck your energy, right? Yeah, I am married with 8 children. I have 3 grandchildren. I am old. I am old and decrepit, right? Let's see. The chauffeur of Ariana Grande is here. Good to have you here for your entertainment leisure, our friend. We're out here in the wilderness. It's very moist out here, very damp from the humidity. It's kind of irritating my skin. I've been bitten by hundreds of mosquitoes out here, so you'll see me like adjusting here. Everything, I got the itches and the scratches. Watership Down staff? No, that's a sad movie. This is a walking stick, is what it is. It helps me to get around. You try to love all creatures, but I draw the line. Creatures trying to eat you alive. Yeah, it's only fair, right? It's only fair to have that response. Yeah. Now the sun is coming up. Let me see if we can get let me get you. I don't know if you could see it. You see a little bit of orange. I'm going to walk out to the path here to see if you get a proper vision. It's quite beautiful from where I am at. But it's hard because of the moisture in the air with this type of device that I'm using to get a decent presentation of the light. But hopefully as I come around the corner here, you'll get to see it. I mean, it's quite gorgeous right now. If you could see the sun there. Yep, you can't see it. That's unfortunate. I mean, I see a big ball of light right there. That's quite unfortunate, right? Where you could see the ray, though. You see that ray? You see it? Yeah. I don't know why my camera just, when there's moisture in the air, it just is shit. But right, there's an invisible ball of light there that you cannot see, but you certainly see the ray coming out. All right. Here we go, going back to my area here. Yeah, we're here in the grove, my friends, in the wilderness for your entertainment leisure. Spiritual entertainment, 7 days a week. Don't forget to hit the like button as you come in. Oh my, what a treat. Look what I found here. I will certainly add this I have a little altar at home, like I call a pocket grove. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? What a find, right? Yeah, we have a lot of hawk here in my grove, and they're adorable, especially in the twilight. Here it is. You see it? Isn't that beautiful? Look at what I found there. What a treasure, right? That's beautiful. Um, my mother likes collecting these as well. She makes, those dream catchers, dream catchers. Yeah, that's one of the things my mother. She makes all kinds of things, and she's like, "Oh, I love those. Can you get more for me?" So I'm very blessed to have found this morning. Look at that. Yeah, the hawks here, they're interesting. They're all around. All of these hawks all around here. I'm gonna put that down over there. What a find! I mean, I'm pretty happy about that, right? What a find! Oh my, spiritual entertainment, my friends. 7 days a week, I am here for you, waiting for the sun to rise, waiting for the sun. Um, did you know it's a federal offense to have a blue jay feather? Really? No, I mean, what an erroneous law. I mean, some of these laws, I mean, that should be your God-given right, right, to be able to have a feather. I mean, that's ridiculous, right? Am I drinking blood? Yes, I am. The blood of my enemies. I consume it. You find similar feathers near you all the time. They're not hawk feathers. They are pheasant feathers. They look very similar, though. Yeah. Um, collect crow feathers. That would be fun to find. Um, there are lots of crows here in my grove, but I've never been able to find one of their feathers. Right? Mimi my own constantly. What does that mean? That is true, Mimi. And I used to find blue jay feathers. Mimi is your friend of yours, Vixen. Um, you can't prove how you gained the feather. We have the same rules in the UK regarding certain animals. Yeah, we have a lot of protected, like there's wild tortoises here out in my swamp. You can't touch them. The gopher tortoise of Florida, they are protected by the state. You can get in a lot of trouble just for helping one across the street, right? You can get a fine, right? They hunted blue jays dangerously. Oh, that's terrible, right? Blue jays are beautiful birds. That's quite unfortunate. Anything but turkey, yeah. Um, try breakdancing. Oh, that would be fun. Some of you probably heard me tell the stories when I was younger, going to a breakdancing club behind a bowling alley. Yeah, that was fun in my grade school era. Like, I think I was in third grade. I had the parachute pants and stuff. And there was this, behind a bowling alley, there was this little, you know, breakdancing place, where you get to watch everyone do all of their interesting tricks. I was quite happy that the Olympics included breakdancing. I thought that was, you know, uh, I mean, what these people do, I mean, it is very creative and very difficult, right? So breakdancing, I think, is a beautiful sport, right? The whistler, no, the wizard can get rid of the rats now. Thank you. Well, I don't know what to tell you about your rat problem, right? I'm not a rat catcher. I'm an entertainer. Nothing more, nothing less. The sun is such a beautiful place. I don't know if, let me see if I could try to see it right here. The way that it is between the trees here is quite adorable. Let me see. You could see it a little bit. I mean, it looks a lot better from my perspective. But right there it is. There's the sun. Um, spiritual entertainment. Don't forget at the top of your screen, my friends, there is a like button. I will be here for another 90 minutes. And then I have to make my way back. Um, and I will be back later on at some point playing Halo with you today. If you have a rat problem, be sure to look at hiring someone level 1 adventurers. Yeah, those are always the best ones to deal with rat problems. Brand new adventurers, to get them started, to learn to use their weapons and things, conjuring abilities, right? He's not a wizard, but he's a druid. Well, druids can be wizards. I consider myself a bard. That is my voice is my gift to the world in terms of the things I share and my creativity. So that's how I usually define myself. Um, let's see. Uh, that makes sense. Druids are cooler. Yeah, I practice Druidry. I am a member of an order of bards, ovites, and druids. That is my thing. Uh, let's see here. What if the circle inside of a square, that's the symbol of the bard? Yeah. Are you testing me, sir? Yeah. How many feathers have you got, Billy? Yeah. Bards are the toughest. Well, bards are, they are the myth weavers, the storytellers. They're the reason why we have culture, right? This is something, unfortunately, the world has forgotten. It's forgotten its roots. It's forgotten its bards, right? I think I'm actually going to join the order. Really? That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Um, you know, uh, now it's good to that inspiring all these people here to join this wonderful organization. It is a wonderful organization with all kinds of different people from around the world. You could be an atheist and practice Druidry. You can be a pagan. You can be a Muslim. It really is something open to all people, which I think when I started, I was a Christian. I mean, I left Christianity not because of Druidry, uh, but there's lots of Christian Druids, right? You're going to join as well? Look at that. R.E. Lee. Yeah. Yeah. Go to the website or the Order of Bards, Ovites, and Druids. Dr. Mantus Toboggan, our good friend, good to have you here. Have you been able to play the new Halo yet? You said you had purchased it yesterday, right? Now, if you have Game Pass, I think you'll have it for free. People that play, I think it was like $20 to get the upgrade to the deluxe edition if you already have Game Pass. That's what I did. It's still dark in your part of America, so you're on the West Coast, Mimi. You're on or the Central. You just got to Publix. Did you want a purple or green flavor aid for our cult event today? Yeah, don't forget get me one of those the Publix subs too. Thank you. Um, what is the advantage of joining an order? Community and their teachings and the tradition, uh, carrying out this tradition that is one rooted in that of your ancestors. That's what the benefits are, right? It isn't like just joining a sports club or something. Um, it, the idea of community, the idea of continuing where your ancestors, they offer a clear and solid path. And I think that's very helpful to the world that you have something like that. Now, my order is pay to play because, I mean, they give you solid teachings. There's the courses you pay for, right? But once you pay for them, you don't have to pay anymore, right? And they are the largest of all the Druidic orders, the Obid, and they're all over the world. They're all over the world. A sports club, yeah. I think you need a psychiatrist and heavy medication. What if I do need a psychiatrist? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with having mental disabilities, right? Robert, why are you a dick for people with disabilities? That's what I want to know. Yeah. You need an excuse to wear your members only jacket. Yeah. Give you the courage to study astronomy. You are an astronomer, are you? Right? Members only. Yeah. Yeah. Now you don't have to be in a druidic order to practice druidry. Druidry is something natural that we all participate in our own way. Let's see that. See if you could see that light. It's getting brighter. You see it? There it is. It's the light is showing brighter now, right there between the trees there. I had it at a good angle. Let me see if I get it with it. You get the sunbeams. There you are. The solar beams there. I'm trying to set my. Oh, there we go. Perfect. There you are, my friends. For your entertainment leisure, the power of the sun. Here comes the sun. Look at all that solar energy, my friends. You see it? all of that solar energy illuminating my grove here. Um, what the light dancing between the trees here. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. There you are. So you got a chance to see it here. The sun is rising up, my friends. For your entertainment leisure, brother sun. There you are. Um, don't forget as you're coming in, right there, you see it, like button. It's right there. Just give it a touch. Help about out. I do this every day for your entertainment leisure. You are a Pokemon master. Daniel is wailing again. Yeah, Daniel is wailing again. Uh, Little darling, it's been hard, coldly the winter. Here comes the sun. See, you know all the lyrics. It's a beautiful song, and you hear my crows now. They are greeting the light as it comes in. I mean, I don't know if you could see it. It's just beautiful. When I see this, how the light just dances all over the. You can't really see it very well with this my camera here, but when it goes between the trees, I mean, my heart just opens up. Yeah. Hold a kind of organized body under security. I don't know what that means. Yeah, hit the like button. Thank you, John. Glad you said you no need to be in order to be a druid. To me, druidry is a personal connection, a holy bond between you and life. Yeah. All the order offers is a way to do it, right? And it offers a chance of connection to other people on the same path. Yeah, there are all over the world. There are these groups, and I am very grateful that I have one that near me, where we celebrate the wheel of the year together. You missed Mike the Prick Piccolo. He was on a few days ago. Yeah, he was on a few days ago. The Duke of New York is here. Here comes the nukes. Oh shit. Yeah, we're gonna play some Fallout 4 here. Yeah, praise Caledwin, my friend. Praise Caledwin. Like when a trash bag spins in a corner, the cross hatching of the underside of the feathers creates a plethora of corners where wind will spin. What are you doing to your garbage bags? What are you doing to your garbage bags, right? You haven't seen Monty in a while either. Yeah, he hasn't been on in a couple of weeks. Maybe he has found a different love interest, right? Or he has been banned, right? Yeah, Monty is one of Gwendolyn's followers, uh, and he's quite a nuisance, I would imagine. Um, Yahweh demands that you destroy the Amalekites. We ask that you destroy the like button. There it is, right up there, my friends. For your entertainment leisure, 7 days a week, I am here every morning. And today we are in the sacred grove, the place of connection, the place of renewal, the place that everyone calls home, right? Um, he was supposed to be your bodyguard too. He swore to protect you. He did. Oh, praise Kedadwin, my friends. Our wonderful patron of this wonderful show that we do, the goddess of my ancestors. Am I a wizard? I'm an entertainer. I'm a wizard in the evenings. Good morning to you. Yeah, good to have you here. Yeah, Monty kind of creeped you out. Yeah, yeah. We always have these people on here, right, that have a fascination with some of our moderators, right? Trying to hook up with them. I mean, this happens all the time, sometimes quite in an inappropriate way, right? These people that become your fans, right? Which is quite unfortunate. Um, yeah. Oh, did we get a rebuking? I don't do that shit out here. Lucifer says, "Come back home, my child." Yeah, I don't care about Lucifer or any of that nonsense either. I'm just an entertainer making my way the only way I know how. And that's just a little bit more than the Christians allow. Yep. Looks like a rebuker got buked. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not in the mood to do it out here. This is a sacred place to me. Um, not interested in being rebuked here. I don't have the energy. I don't have the desire here. I got to be really high sometimes for a rebuke, right? Now, if you want to see any of my other rebukes, if you've never seen them do an exorcism on me, I have a playlist called Daily Exorcism, where you could see the finest in Christian powers at work. I mean, there's about 100 of them on there. I don't really add to the list anymore because I've run out of demons. All the same demons just keep coming back here at some point. They're like, the devil's like, I'm not giving you any more new demons. You just take the old ones back to you. And so I have to, I've run out of my demonic supply, right? I could see YouTube has not fixed their problem here. Loopy Dreams, nice to see you. Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, help the butt out. Yeah, they used to have colored names on your phone. That only works on the computer now for some reason. On your phone, you're just like a deep white. I hope that YouTube brings the color scheme back. That was much more better than this, right? Yeah, YouTube is always updating and changing its self, right? Oh, my spiritual entertainment. Like and subscribe. Out in this beautiful place today, my sacred grove, sharing, this connection I have with all of you. You can't cast out demons anymore. They have squatters' rights. Yes, the demons have rights, damn it. Stop casting them out. Who is Pharaoh Alexander? Who the hell is that? I want to rebuke. Let me join the church. Yeah. Oh, let's see here. I rebuke anyone for $5 super chat. Gwendolyn will perform an exorcism on you for your entertainment leisure, right? Yeah, it's always interesting that, the exorcism phenomena, it's always tied to a certain, psychology, right? The way that these manifestations happen. And, having to deal with the phenomena, it always is based on how the person perceives the world they're in, right? That doesn't discount the fact that some people certainly might be influenced by some reality, but everything they're doing is coming from them. And that's why modern psychology has taken over, this once practice of various religions, and has done a much better job in understanding the levels of the needs of mental health. Now, we've come a long way in the dignity of the human person and dealing with them in terms of our mental health. Just what, 60 years ago, 50 years ago, it was terrible how people were treated in like asylums and things. Asylums started closing in the 90s. That's when the idea of the clinical treatment was replaced this form. And the exorcism to me is just another form of psychology, right? Dealing with symbols, dealing with that inner person, right? And if you'll notice that one of the phenomena of exorcisms, no matter where you see it, there's a repetition, right? In the formula, there's a repetition in using the name of Jesus over and over again, right? Why? Why can't you just do it one time if it is a real power of divinity? And I've had like demon when I was participating in, those things. The demons would just ignore and laugh at you, and when you use the name of Jesus, for instance, right? There's a certain psychological reality to these things. You are pounding about a totem name for the bod. So far, I've only those two, the babbling bunny, bunny, the reefer bunny, reefer madness, my friends. The sun is our creator, and never ask a dime to anyone. It is a word that holds power and not the repetition. Yeah, well, if it holds power, then you should use it one time, right? And that's something that always bothered me as a Christian. I'm like, why do I have to keep repeating it? Why do I need to fast and do the ritual over and over again? I mean, exorcisms could last hours, right? Um, and I remember this one gentleman where I was in an exorcism with him, and it was like all day doing this, and there was no results. Uh, and there was all kinds of strange behavior that you would expect from an exorcism. I mean, it's really the psychology of the person, I think, more than anything. Um, I'm doing good. Koopa Dreams, good to have you here. Red Ram, Red Ram, Red Ram, right? Uh, that's an astronomer. Is there an astronomer? Ashley, nice to see you. Good to have you here. However, I myself don't believe. Well, you don't have to. I'm just an entertainer. I'm just sharing my experiences and stories with you. I don't desire anyone to take any of it uh, as a dogma, right? Um, Whatever I have that I share with you, if it helps you, use it. I'm not always right, and I'm certainly worthy of criticism. I am worthy of ridicule. I am an entertainer. Um, how's the mushrooms in the reefer plants this morning? Oh, that would be a nice combination. A mushroom reefer. Yeah, I've never even thought about. Could you smoke cybercellin mushrooms? I know a lot of you are drug addicts out there. Uh, I've never even thought about the possibility of smoking cybercellin mushrooms. What did I have for dinner last night? Pizza. Yeah, pizza was the thing for my family last night. Uh, oh no, brother, I'm talking about in Christ, not in the person, but in the power. Yeah, the reality of what I've discovered in exorcisms in terms of the name of Jesus is the name doesn't matter. It's you being Jesus that matters to these demons. The idea of the name has no power. I mean, it's just an idea. It's how you're experiencing the name. That's where they find a threat, right? I prefer you to the Bard Simpson. Oh, thank you. Yeah, Bart Simpson is quite the entertainer, right? Don't forget, hit the like button as you come in, my friends, right up there. Spiritual attempt. The smoke can blind you. Don't do it. Oh, really? Cybercell and smoke can blind you. Oh man. Well, thank you for protecting a lot of, drug addicts here. Um, Belief is the lack of knowledge. Faith is the lack of wisdom. Hope is the lack of action. Well, that's a terrible way to. To me, um, faith is the substance of hope, and hope is the ultimate power. Right? It's saying, I'm going to look beyond my circumstances, and that there is value, that there's a life worth fighting for. That's much different than belief. Belief is like, this is my staff. I believe it is a staff, right? It doesn't. It is an idea. It doesn't have it. Hope is a power that changes your circumstance for the better in terms of what's going on within. The power of the human will has been scientifically demonstrated in many different scenarios in terms of its influence, in terms of experiment. The idea that you can make particles appear, that's amazing, right? That's amazing. I am very chill, thank you. Hello, fat boy. Hello, big penis. I am a dummy guy. Oh, you're quite intelligent for listening to me, aren't you? Yeah. Cable dog, you are clergy? It was a stick. It is a stick. That's all it is. Hope is a prayer to the Holy Ghost. Well, hope has many different manifestations. Uh, I hope my children have a good life. And because I do that, I invest into their lives. I hope that they have the greatest life of all, right? Hope is a power. It is a resource, right? Yeah. Where are we? Hope is a very powerful weapon. Certainly, my friend. Certainly. Yeah. Yeah. Without it, the world would not be what it is, right? If it weren't for those people who do that difficult work of hope, yeah, like it, it's it's a very powerful and thing that we are all called to do in our own way, right? This is the Grove, only peace and harmony, relaxed energy. Yeah, I am having a good day. Thank you. Chapter Block is your name. Good to have you here. Found is here. Now we can begin our rituals. We have been found. Thank you for being here. Do I praise cats? No, rabbits. This is my deity right here. I worship my rabbit. Let's see. I'm a witch. Ooh, I'm a witch. Oh no. Watch out. There's witches here. You going to burn me at the stake, Christian man? What would, let's see here. I heard you should, what should stats be for your first starting out D&D character? It depends on what class you're doing. Now, if you're a bard or a paladin, you put everything in charisma, your highest stat. If you're a warrior, strength. If you are a rogue, dexterity. If you are a wizard, intelligence. If you are a cleric or a druid, wisdom. Right? Those should be your top stats, my friend. Yeah, last night, live streamed here, Dungeons and Dragons. I do that as a form of entertainment. Go check out my video, give it a like. I just released it last night, called D&D Nerds. You will get a good laugh at the culture of Dungeons and Dragons and how serious the people in the video take it, right? Everyone was having a good time, got really deep into character. We had one elf, female elf, that was being kind of a bigot towards some kobolds. You'll get a good laugh at, like, I mean, these people taking it so seriously, right? I watch them, like, it's funny when it happens, right? You like dark fantasies? Oh my! You're making quiche again. Look at you! It's a good breakfast for you. You've never played B&D, but I've heard of it. Amazing. Yeah, I love Dungeons and Dragons. It's a really fun game. What just fell from here? I thought I saw. No. Let's see here. What do we got? Yeah, some type of thing from the tree there. I lost it. I'm a witch. Oh no. Are you still a deacon? No, I retired. I retired from as a clergyman last year, um, in October. Acid jazz. Yeah, and I'm no longer a Christian either. I retired from Christianity as well. When was the first D&D? When was the first D&D game? What is the context for that? Are you talking about like Gary Gygax and the nascent of tabletop gaming, or you're talking about my first game? I started messing around with it in 1986. It was hard to find people, and I think the first real memorial game that I had that was structured, I think I was probably about 16 years old, and that was at, what was funny, this was like post-Satanic Panic, and it was at a witch's house. The local witch was hosting a D&D game. I don't know what kind of witchcraft she was in, but that's what we called her, the witch. And she was a young married lady practicing witchcraft. I don't know what kind of witchcraft. And then I didn't really take it seriously. I would play on occasion. I would be involved, and it really became a lifestyle for me. And when I could play it anytime I wanted to with other people because of the internet. When Roll20.net came out, that's when I really started doing it all the time. So that was 2015, around there. Getting games together back then must have been really difficult. Yeah, it's not like it was today. you were lucky to find the right people, right? And the people that you would find, if you didn't live by a comic book store, you were lucky to if they never took it seriously, right? Um, you want the egg sandwich? Look at that. Oh man, GOB. What does that mean? Second edition. Second edition has, I think, in my opinion, um, the most beautiful stories and lore for Forgotten Realms. Yeah, all of the good. I translated a lot of 2E stuff into 5E. There's nothing like the manuals of that time. Now 2E lasted until around the year 98, 99, around there. Um, that's when the third edition really was making its roots, right? And in the 2000s, fourth edition started, really didn't really take off properly. And that's when the fifth edition really, you begin to see it as a correction to 4E. And now we're at 5.5. We're headed for sixth edition. Eventually, D&D is going to be like Windows 10. They just keep building off the same format, right? Um, In-person D&D also comes with benefits of bribing the DM with snacks and pizza. Yeah, that always is helpful. Is this real? No, this isn't real. Someone should make a D&D game in VR. There is. You could play Tabletop Simulator in virtual reality. I have on Steam. I've played D&D in VR, which is fun because you can move your tokens around. You can be in the cave and everything. It's a lot of fun doing that. Not too many people do that though, the VR, but it's interesting to immerse yourself in there. Tabletop Simulator is a wonderful program for playing any tabletop game, and you can play them all in VR. You can play Monopoly in VR with other people. I mean, it's such a wonderful program. But there was something in the works called D&D 1, but it really didn't take root. I think Wizards of the Coast and Hasbro were creating this ultimate program for immersion when it comes to Dungeons and Dragons. That is virtual reality. Yeah, the virtual reality that we have now is still, I think, a long way off for something that works for everybody. My sons have VR headsets. And I think they're terrible. I got Skyrim in VR, and I don't enjoy it. It makes me sick. I think we need to, in terms of game immersion, we're still, people prefer the old-fashioned way, interacting with a controller as opposed to VR. Who knows a world without the internet? Oh man, it must be all young people, right? We used to live in a world, me and Kiki here, in a world without the internet, right? I'll check it out. What it's called again? The Tabletop Simulator. You can get it on Steam for $20, and then the Steam sale you can get it for like $5, sometimes $10, depending on the Steam sale. I mean, that was like the best investment I ever made for tabletop gaming, because you could play Monopoly on it, Warhammer, D&D with. I mean, it's got a community of people too that looks for other players as well. Um, in terms of card games, I mean, there's all. I was amazed to play Dark Tower from the 1980s. There was a game called Dark Tower based on the Stephen King universe. That was on there. Somebody put a 3D model, uploaded it, and all these modules are for free. If you buy Tabletop Simulator, do not buy their DLC. Nobody plays that shit. Everything that you need is a model that you can download for free that is made by fans. Every form of Monopoly, like Lord of the Rings Monopoly, all those old Lord of the Rings board games, some of you remember those from the 80s and 90s, those are all there. Gloomhaven, all of Gloomhaven is there. Any type of board game that you could think of, you will find it on Tabletop Simulator. Let's see here. Kanye West is king for you. Why the fuck not? Yeah. He's a controversial person, right? I don't like the symbols that he has resorted to. Um, what was odd was his religious phase, right? Like his spirituality never really, I think, really got rooted for people. He did like Sunday services and stuff. A lot of spirituality, when it's rooted in your own vanity, it really doesn't really have the same benefits as other forms of spirituality. You bring the God Emperor of Warhammer every time, and bringing the favorite. Yeah. What's fun about Tabletop Simulator? The Warhammer models are all for free. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on them. They have beautiful Warhammer setups, beautiful tables. There's always people playing Warhammer on there, and creating these beautiful Warhammer tables. Oh, Loopy Loopy after dark is here, a witchy witchy friend. Good to have you here for your entertainment privilege, my friends. I'm going to be here for another hour. So hit that like button at the top of your screen. The strategies indeed, my friends. Is good morning, Jambo, brother of Rambo. Good to have you here. You haven't played Stratego in a long. They have Stratego on Tabletop Simulator. I haven't played that one in a long time either. That was fun. Stratego was fun. I was a big Risk person. Risk was my game, right? That was no one could ever defeat me in Risk, right? My kids, they try to when we play together. Like when a hurricane happens, that's when everyone's playing board games, right? And we have a hurricane headed towards Florida right now, that I saw on the news earlier today. That's kind of scary. We haven't had one in 5 years. I mean, I've lost roofs because of these hurricanes. It's always a pain in the ass here. Get another drink. Oh my. Spiritual entertainment, friends. 7 days a week, out in the wilderness today for your entertainment leisure. Your dad loves Rick. Oh my. Rick is awesome. He is an ex-demon turned druid. Yeah. Who is Rick? Who is that? Let me see here. Uh, Stratego's a lot of fun. Yeah. Political Landslide. That was your favorite war game. You used to be a dungeon master, Sean. However, you moved to reading Warhammer as you got older. Yeah, Warhammer never was. The video game's fine. I'm always going to be a D&D person, because I find D&D is a theater for me, right, rather than a strategic table. Lord Tommy. Let's see. My dad loves Rick. Who is Rick? Let's see. He's always. What kind of birds do I have? We have crows here. We have bald eagle. We have hawk. All of the traditional birds that you would assume in Central Florida here. All the birds make their way through here at some point, right? That's what we have. You were in a live stream yesterday, and the topic of ordained pagans or pagan clergy just got smacked up and down by those folks. Yeah, I mean, the idea of ordained clergy and paganism, right? I don't have a problem with that at all. I think that implies a structure, right? That some people need. The idea of being ordained, right? To have an authority. But in terms of tradition, right? In terms of what type of, where does that come from? The idea of ordained, that comes from Christians, right? The idea of ordaining people, right? Let's see here. Where am I at here? You design your own. Do I? Yes, I do design my own adventures. Now, what I'll do is I'll take other modules and repurpose them, right? Like in my game right now, I'm using the Tales of the Yawning Portal and Candlekeep Mysteries and a few other modules, and I'll take those maps and I'll repurpose them. And I there's all what's really beautiful right now. If you are a dungeon master, there's unlimited maps on the internet that people have made that you can download and use, which is wonderful because you didn't always have those resources. And you can also have your artificial intelligence create maps for you. You say, I want this type of map, you get a map instantaneously, right? Good morning, Ice Cream. Good to have you here. Did you miss the exorcism? Yeah. Well, I don't do exorcisms out in my grove. You know, I just don't have the energy to do that. Don't forget that like button, my friends. Let's get that up to 100 today. I got an hour to be with you. I want 100 likes. Touch it. Touch it. Right there, my friends. Spiritual entertainment. Everybody on that Candlekeep. Yeah, Candlekeep has a lot of they're like one shots. The Candlekeep mysteries, they're all one shots, and they're a lot of fun. Now, I've repurposed it. I don't use them in Candlekeep. I'm using them as quests in the Kingdom of Cormier. So I rewrite it, I use the map, and I use some of the ideas. Yeah, best not in the Grove, yeah. I took my degenerate group to Candlekeep. They tried to burn it down. Yeah, that's one of the things I don't like. If you are a murder hobo, you won't have a good time in my game. Like yesterday, it was all role play. 2 hours, no fighting. It was all people using their skills, and we spent the first hour talking in the guild house about life and adventure, and then we went on an adventure, and nothing was killed. They just continued to have conversations with the people they met in the sewer, right? So you won't, if you're into murder hoboing, you will not have fun in my games because most 50% of it is role play, right? That's just how I roll. I create a story, a stage where there is battles, but that's not the purpose. The purpose is to take you on a journey. I give you a game as a proper bard, helping to immerse yourself in a world, right? Your fruit trees are finally bearing fruit. How wonderful. How wonderful. Roving hands of murder hobos usually don't carry any books they can get in. Yeah. Yeah. I spend so much time creating a world for people to immerse themselves in. And murder hobos, to me, are a nuisance when it comes to that. I find that the murder hobo phenomena is really people who they want D&D to be an MMO. They don't understand the other elements of it. So it's usually people that started playing in, the 2000 era, right? They don't know that D&D is a role-playing game at its roots, right? So all they want to do is murder everything. They don't want to interact in the world. They play it like an MMO. Even when I play an MMO, I want to, learn the lore of the world, right? I don't want to just go around killing stuff and collecting items, right? I don't have fun playing games like that, right? Murder hobos are usually young and inexperienced, yeah. Yeah, I remember I had this one group where the group made terrible choices. They did not interact with their environment, and they went directly to the dragon. They didn't care about the environment, and they got slaughtered. And one of the players was complaining, like, you shouldn't have gave us the dragon. We don't have the health pool to take it. I'm like, sir, this is not an MMO. There's no health pool. There's the dice in you and your poor decisions. You could have handled that better, right? And even in your poor decisions, if the dice are on your side, in this case, the dragon kept restoring back its breath. it kept rolling those 5s and 6s to get its fire breath back. So they ended up getting defeated real fast. But even in that, in the game, if you die, it's not the end of the game. It's a time for a new character to rise or new opportunities. The story goes on in some way or another. That's at least how I roll, right? Let's see here. The after party is supper. Yep. Hash and Anfully, good to see you. What's good to see you again as well, Omar. Spiritual entertainment, my friends. 7 days a week I am here for your entertainment leisure here. Our good Kiwi friend is here. Good to see you. Pineapple on pizza. We keep coming back to this blasphemy, right? You're going to be punished by going to Disneyland before. Oh, bad. You butchered that one. Ever player ought to have a character die at some point. Yeah. The idea, of the immortality of the player. The dying is part of the story, right? And now I'm in the process of creating a game for neurodivergence players, and that's going to be everyone wins all the time, because you don't want to. Some people have hard time with losing, and I'm doing that for I have neurodivergent children, and to create a peer group around D&D for them. I'm currently in the process of trying to work that out. 1990 pen and dice, log, base, echo, Saudi Arabia. Bombs are interrupting games. Oh, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about here. Smack that like button. Thank you, our witchy friend. This is heresy. Oh, no. What a surprise when there's heresy here, right? You ran a D&D game for your students at the school, and I made sure they won a lot. You have to encourage the kids, yeah. You want them all to feel winner, because some people in their mentalities, dying is like a very personal experience for some people with disabilities, right? Like my sons, if they lose a game, they get violent, right? So start throwing the tables. I remember when one of my sons was in therapy, and he lost like checkers or something. You're a bitch. He said that to the lady, right? She's like, he doesn't take losing well, does he? I'm like, no, he has to win every time, right? He doesn't how to compute that in his mind, right? You can't be killing them off, right? It's a good sport about it, yeah. If you're letting a player's characters die and it is not conducted to a happy ending, it depends on how they die, right? Now, in my game, my characters have been playing for about a year now. They've all died several times and have come back in some way, right? The game in terms of the combat is very challenging, right? Sometimes they're holding on by one player surviving, getting them to the temple to heal their comrades, right? That type of atmosphere is what you find in my games, because I think that is important for the development of the group. Your group, I play with autism, is maximum. Yeah. Dying and coming back as zombies and ghosts is always fun. Yeah, allows for shenanigans. Yeah. You've had planned deaths for characters. It makes for dramatic moments. Yeah. If you're telling a story, right? Planned deaths are very difficult to pull off, right? Yeah, for some people. It's about the journey, not the destination. Yeah, about the memories you make, right at the gaming table. That's all. That's what I try to bring about for people. If you want to see a good memory, again, I just released a video last night about midnight. I can't remember when I put it out, called D&D Nerds. It's about 7 or 8 minutes long, and you could see these people really getting into the game in an intense way, which is, I just watched it. I'm like, wow, this is funny. Do you like Yakat rock? What is a Yakat yacht rock. I don't know what that is. TPK, and if you don't like it, yeah. Yeah, usually TPKs are caused by the players, not the dungeon master, because of their poor decisions that they make in doing their battles, right? The lack of strategy, the lack of utilizing your environment, right? One of the things that my players have learned to do is that when they're in a room and they're in the battle, there might be a pillar there. You could break the pillar and the whole room would fall down, right? Stuff like that, right? That would quickly end the battle with the great deity that you're fighting or something, right? You have to use your environment. I think that's very important. Let's see. Good to see you, Sean. Good to have you here. Spiritual entertainment. You always break the pillar. Yeah. I mean, there's so much you could do. When my players say, "Is there something in here?" Like, yeah, that right there. You could use that to help you, right? You could push. What's neat about there's this game. I think you could do this in Baldur's Gate 3 and in Solasta. They use the 5th edition rules. Like you could push somebody in a fire and they'll catch on fire. You could push someone off the cliff, with an athletics check. You could bump them up, and that's it. It doesn't matter if they're a lich or anything. If you knock the lich off of the cliff, that's the game. You won, right? You knock the lich into the lava. With an athletics check, you can do that, right? You don't have to engage in this long battle. It could be solved in a few moments with your ingenuity, right? Perception checks are a wasted turn unless your character is blind. Yeah, perception checks are very important. I don't use passive perception in my games because I want the players to explore their environment, and they've learned to do that because there's always traps. When they enter the room, and I don't allow assists or repetitive checks. You only get one check, so make it count. Now, everyone can do the same check, but you only get one opportunity. Like if you're picking a lock and you fail the DC, you've now broken it. You cannot pick it anymore. Now you'll have to bash the door in. Now, if everyone's tried to bash the door in, you can't do that anymore. You can't do this repetitive. You have to find a different way. Maybe pray to your God to walk through the door. Now, if you roll a nat 20 on anything, you can do whatever you want in my game. You can walk through walls. I mean, that's the magic of the dice, right? The thing I'm holding is a walking stick. Look up Hasta, the Lovecraftian pantheon deities and my gods. Yeah, I'm a Forgotten Realms canonist, so I usually don't deviate. Now, I use Cthulhu in my games. Cthulhu is welcome in the Forgotten Realms because he's from Far Realm. Far Realm is where all the mind flayers and everything comes from, right? So what's nice about Cthulhu has been introduced into 5th edition now by Wizards of the Coast. I think there's a new module that is being made. I'm like, it's about time. Cthulhu has always been there in the background, right, of 5th edition. Jesus is at the door. Oh, boy. Oh, man. Yes, he rolled a nat 20, right? Spiritual entertainment, my friends. 7 days a week. Don't forget to hit that like button. Look at it up at the top of your screen. You see my rabbits? Like, hit that like button there. You come in peace. Great. We like peace here, my friends. We like peace here. R.L. Lee. I once asked the DM if he rolled a natural 100, I could just kick the BB Bidgies to death, and I rolled a 99. Oh, you were so close. Probably, if I was your DM, I would be like, you can do half of what you wanted to do there. Cthulhu, you don't know who Cthulhu is. He is the ultimate power in the universe. Oh my, you don't know who Lord Cthulhu is. Would you ever let an Abrahamic fundamentalist character into your D&D realm? Well, I do. But the Thunder. The Thunder is the Christian fundamentalism in the game. The paladins of Lathanders are like evangelical preachers that are paladins. They go around spreading the good news of Lathander. I mean, that's an old joke, right? So fundamentalist Christianity is present in D&D through the Church of Lathander in the Forgotten Realms. And it's always funny. I played plenty of paladins of Lathander. That humor is there. You are Pikachu. Oh my. Do I have to catch you in my Pokemon ball? Oh my. We are outside. Yes, we are. Nightfall. We are out here in my sacred grove today for your entertainment leisure. I try to bring everybody out here once a week. And this is the morning that I bring you out here. Hit the like button if you love nature. If you love nature. Lathander 12.8. Praise the light. Yes. Receive. Yeah. And the fundamentalist faction of the Lathanderites, they go around preaching the return of the dawn cataclysm. It's like the end of the world. So they have like a rapture and everything. I mean, it's a fun thing. Our good friend from the land of the ancestors, Blake here. Good to have you here, our good friend, for your spiritual entertainment leisure here. Glad to have you here. Let's see here. Is it Kroisoy? Is that how you say welcome? I'm trying to learn this. I had to create a ritual. The Kruan Sa Awanir, the welcoming of those of the Awan. I probably said that wrong, but I had to create a ritual for people who finished the Bardic grade in my Druid circle, a little ceremony. Kroisoy means welcome in our Welsh language, right? A lot of modern Druidry is rooted in the Welsh tradition. So we use Welsh words like Awan. Close, not bad. I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah. Yeah, my Welsh ancestors are like rolling around in their grave. Stop using our language. Stop it. You're butchering. I'll get it eventually, ancestors. Don't worry. I'm a little slow. I'm doing well. R.E. Lee, good to have you here. Hold from the Fiend Folio. Oh my, you want to go back in time to the Fiend Folio, right? That was a real, the fundamentalists had fun with that one, right? The Fiend Folio, that was there. So you see all of the devils, right? The Fiend Folio from first edition Dungeons and Dragons, right? The Welsh is the most crazy thing to see written. Yeah, our wonderful friend Blake here, an ELP, if he's still here, they are Welshmen. We are druids, dot, 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 dot. There's no wrong way to say it, my bard, is the gods love wondrous variety. Yeah. Let's see here. Threatening people with ethereal damnation isn't love. That's gaslighting. Yes. Do we have a fire bringer here today? We are headed for damnation once again. Highway to hell, right? As AC/DC wants to. You know, it was funny when AC/DC, they were trying to say that AC/DC meant Antichrist, devil child, right? All of these, like they hide lyrics in their music and stuff. And the singer, Angus or whatever his name is, like, we don't hide anything. We're on a highway to hell. It's all there. There's nothing hidden there. I mean, he exposed how ridiculous these people are, right? This is how to say the good morning is in Welsh is borda. Borda? I probably said that wrong, right? Borida or Bordia. Anybody in Wales seems to have the name Gareth Jones. That is a popular name in Wales. Is that a popular name? Praise Jesus Christ is here. Well, all deities are welcome here today. Jesus is certainly welcome. Odin is welcome here. Zeus, Ra, Krishna, Parvati, Keradwin, Sophia, Athena, whatever your deities are, they're all welcome here to have a good time with us. The Isle of Man, yeah, they have a unique Celtic culture that really, when people say Celtic, they like lumping everything together, right? You have different cultural roots in Scotland. The Isle of Man has its own unique culture, in Ireland, of course, in Wales, and northern France. These are, the places that are where we can draw resources from. I mean, the Celtic has always been around in some place, right? But these are like historical because they had the languages there, right? Um, let's see here. Deities are welcome, but just remember, no deities are real. Thank you for reminding us, Josh. Here, uh, he he first came on here to really troll religious people, and now he's enjoying it here. He's like, I still say there's no deities, but I like it here anyways, right? um, but looks fun, yeah. Um, he is surprised, Odin. Yeah, yeah. There's the Dagda, Odin. I mean, all of these things. Whatever culture you're in, you put a face, right, and you tell the story, right? Odin of today is much different than the Odin of yesterday, right? Um, we might have some writings of our ancestors about Odin, like Blake here. He has got the writings of Odin, right? That some ancestor channeled or and wrote about. I mean, we continue these memories, each in our own way, in the stories we tell about Odin or the Dagda or Jesus, right? You should always be telling these stories. In every culture, you have these experiences of people, right? Now, the All Father to me is a word you use for Odin, or the Dagda. The Dagda is also called All Father, right? I see a Father. That is something. Jesus to me is a face in terms of my culture of divine fatherhood. That has been a very strong thing to me in responding to deity. This idea of a divine father has been very present with me, learning about what a father is myself, trying to be what I experience to my own family and friends, right? So that has been a very strong thing for me, growing up and learning what it is. I mean, I've called it Zeus, I called it all of these things, and, just to see it as a father, right? This eternal Father. I've called it All Father now, right? Because it's all encompassing. I don't use it the same way my Nordic friends would use it. The idea of All Father is that there's an ultimate Father, and in all of our cultures in the world, we put our faces on it, and it doesn't mind. What's unique about the stories you tell in your culture, about these divine fathers, is these memories that are carried on and the experiences of it, and our stories keep getting better with time, right? Same deity with new added flavor, pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I tend to see the cosmos with a lord and a lady at its head, and we all participate in those elements in all way. Like that the Wiccans, I think, gave that to us. The idea, the Gardenians, the idea of lord and lady. I think those are very powerful types that we see in all things, right? Yeah, spiritual entertainment, my friends. You're going to talk to us, Lee? Good. RP to big win as well. Divine, feminine, and masculine energy equal in parts, and they're necessary for a whole, right? Their unity reveals life, right? And we repeat that in our own relationships with one another, where we always seek that opposite that is within us, right? Yeah. RP Vin as well. What is a Vin? Um, let's see here. The deities are fake supernatural gods and goddesses that we worship. Well, they're very real if you have, this connection within you. The idea that it's fake, I mean, your psychology is very real to you, right? The ideas of that begin within you and how you see the world. Those are things you get from your cultural experience. Those will always be true to you. Like if for instance, the cultural idea of God as a father. Now, if you become an atheist, you have this archetype that has been given onto you, right? Now you have to respond to it. It's very real to you. And usually you respond to it by rejecting it. Like you'll go onto my YouTube channel. God is the Father is not real. The whole idea of you saying it's not real proves that it is a reality to you. If something, it's like if I went onto your YouTube channel and I was always talking about the Easter Bunny, yeah, that means it's a very real thing to me, even though I'm saying the Easter Bunny is not real. You see, you can't escape your archetypes that have been given to you. It is a part of your life. You'll either spend the rest of your life rejecting it or the other way around, right? Understanding your psychology is very important. Understanding your subconscious and how it motivates you is very important. If you don't understand it, like Carl Jung said, it's going to control your life. Yeah, you see it here all the time with atheistic fundamentalism. These people are still being compelled by their archetype, but they're rejecting it. They're going around telling everyone God isn't real, because God is real to them. And they're always in contradiction to it, right? You can't escape your psychology, right? So it's important to know that about yourself, right? Why do I need to go on someone's YouTube stream and say God isn't real? If it isn't real, who gives a shit, right? You certainly do believe it's real in your psychology, and you are in a state of contradicting your subconscious, right? Um, let's see here, where are we at? December 8th is the day of reverence. You are devoted to St. Nicholas, are you? Or his is the 6th or the 8th, I can't remember. The Easter Bunny is the deity of Sunday dinners. Yeah, pretty much. I don't really care what people believe as long as they are good people. Yeah, that's important. Yeah, some people, the way they respond to their archetypes uh, is terrible, right? What they do with their religion, right? How they treat other people's is terrible, right? The day the Dimebag died. Do they still have those? I remember when I was younger buying dime bags of reefer. I don't know what technology has given us today in terms of marijuana. I haven't been able to keep up. I'm very content with using gummies, right? My good sir, I have a request. What subject is this conversation about? Well, Raphael, whatever you want to talk about. I'm just a mere entertainer. I'm here entertaining you from my sacred grove today. I'm a practitioner of modern druidry, and I'm sharing all of this beautiful place with you today. Blinded by religion, and it causes hate towards others. Yes, it's quite unfortunate, right? You've never heard of a bard before. Can you care to explain to me? A bard in the tradition of my ancestors is the one that preserves the culture, that tells the stories, that helps people to connect to the ancestors, that ultimately helps you to connect to the divine. The bard is the one with the voice. Now, that voice in the history of my ancestors has many different ways of expression, through storytelling, through poetry, through music, through satire, right? There really is no limit to it. And I do it my own way as a modern day bard, and I belong to a tradition of bards, but I do it in a unique way, mostly through satire, mostly through comedy and conversation, right? I engaging my culture in this way. A lot of bards don't do that, right? And that's okay. We all do it in our own way. But mine is engaging the culture with my voice. My voice has the power to get into people's hearts. Um, let's see here. Sin is mixing Boy George into Slayer. Well, that would be an interesting conversation. I'd love to see Boy George rocking it hard, right? He's a very talented person. I enjoy every now and then I see he's part of that show, like a talent show. He's on there, right? And it's funny because the people that come on, they know how to win because they'll start singing a Boy George song or something, right? Yeah. Um, yeah, Boy George is a very interesting entertainer that I've grown up with. Right, he's got great stories to tell, of overcoming substance abuse. Yeah, yeah. His music will be around forever. Right, he's a wonderful entertainer. Let's see here. Sin isn't real. There is no divine laws. This is all made up by people trying to control you. Thoughts are on the bod god Balinus. Well, why don't you talk about how you feel about this? I'm unfamiliar with the bod god. To me is Ceridwen. That is what my ancestors considered the mother of the hour, the mother of inspiration. So Belinus, you'll have to educate me on that one, right? Red, are you doing okay? Our good friend Red. You have a clan of bards. They record the clan in theology and history and music through telling. Yeah, that's one way to do it, right? Now, what I do is often discounted by the bard gatekeepers, right? I have even people in my own order that criticize me for what I do. Like, I can do poetry. It's not a problem for me, but that's not my thing, right? My thing is comedy. That is how I reach people. And even people in my order, they don't understand that. Some of them get quite offended sometimes by, the conversations that I have with people on here. I got a bunch of people walking the trail here. They're looking at me. Why is that man talking to himself in the woods? Hello, nice to see you. um, define sin. Sin is a made-up thing that implies that there's a God pissed off at you. It's made up by religious people to tell you why your life is terrible, and they have the answer for you. They have the answer. I can only imagine these people walking. They're looking over here. Why does he have a cloak on? Is he doing some type of satanic rituals out here in the wilderness, right? Uh, yeah, Red's having a difficult time today. Well, we hope that things get better for you, our friend. Um, yeah, that's not the definition of sin. Yeah, there's different ways people define it, like missing the mark or not getting it right. It's usually, to me as a minister, ordained in the Catholic Church. The sin is, how you invoke the anger of your God, right? By not following its laws and its rules, right? It's really a farce because everything what sin is defined by an organization. There's no way to prove that there is a God angry at you, right? In my experience, divinity doesn't have that quality. Certainly one of grievance, but not in the sense that they don't understand that you are a finite being, right? Let's see here. Gwendolyn's in a denomination now. Look at that. What did Blake say here? They say God is perfect, but they made image of God perfect. Yeah, these erroneous things of our Christian friends here, right? Let's see here. Comedy is in the eye of the beholder, and you don't want to get hit by a petrification or a disintegration ray. Disintegrate the death rays of a beholder. I mean, those are quite destructive, right? I don't think my level 5 group, I don't think they're ready for a beholder yet. Maybe later on. The dreadnought beholders, those are the worst, right? Now there's a level in the Undermountain, a hidden level that has these ancient beholders live there, the secret level of the Undermountain. That's always a fun one. There was a second edition module. Oh, look at this little critter here, crawling on my water. Why are you doing that? Come here. I want to show you to people here. Look at this critter here. You see it? That is the Florida locust here. You see how it is. One time I showed one of these an image, and like people were crying artificial intelligence. I mean, this creature is massive. Look at it. You see that? This is like biblical plague material here where I live. Now, usually animals eat these up like hawks and things. They are quite the fare of eating here. All right, down you go. Go on. Back to wherever you're going. Go on. Flop away. There you are. Interesting critters, right? Kind of scary looking, right? These giant locusts here. You can imagine. You know, one year we had a swarm of probably about 15 years ago. They were everywhere in Florida here. I don't know if some of you from Florida remember that. We get these different swarms of bugs like love bugs and all kinds of crazy critters down here. Vince, good to see you. Good to have you here, our good friend Vince, for your entertainment leisure. Hell isn't real. Now think about the idea of hell for a moment. What kind of God would create a torture chamber? It cannot be a good guy. Belinus is the bod, sun god, the synchronistic equivalent biblical. Like Lu. Lu is also a god of light, right? We're celebrating Lunasa coming up, right? Where he defeats the Fomorian, the giant with the one laser eye, right? That feast is coming up this weekend, right? Which I certainly will be celebrating with you in my grove. Lunasa was the first wheel of the year that I celebrated. So I've been practicing Druidry for a whole year now. Isn't that something? Yeah, last year in July, I met a Druid from Scotland, and he is like a mentor to me now. We're good friends. And he introduced me to the path of Druidry. And it's changed my whole life to be able to find everything wonderful around me, like in that beautiful bird chirping there, right? Dinosaurs don't have eyelids. I don't know. I wasn't around when dinosaurs were around, right? Hell ain't no bad place to be. Yeah, that's a song, right? Let's see. See. Oh, I'm way behind in the comments here. I forgot to scroll up here. Lotto Gameplays is here. Good to see you. And Eldarin is here. You need to get naked in the woods with a big stick. Yeah, that's what he does. But YouTube does not allow that, right? YouTube. Now, if I got naked for you here in my woods, I would probably die. It is not safe for me to get naked here. There's dangerous insects and animals out here. I can only imagine, I'm running around, my wiener hanging out, and some wild boar gets a sniff of it. I mean, it's not safe here. The gods of the elements do not care what you do in life. They care what you do in death. We all turn to the tree of life, right? We all return to the mother, right? We all return to the elements of what we come from. We are the children of the elements. You are the children of the elements. The children of the elements. The elements. The elemental gods. So what's funny about my Welsh ancestors, like elemental beings are, their ancestors. Like if you read about an elemental, that's one of our ancestors, right? The gods of my ancestors, they're all ancestors. Like if you read the Mabinogion, those were all like real people, but now they're all gods. Ceridwen, she's a goddess, but that that reveals a lot about you, right? What you're destined for, right? Your memory has great value and potential to be the inspiration to the next generation. Now the question is, how are you inspiring? That inspiration does not begin on the top of the mountain. Ceridwen's inspiration began in her family and her love for her son Morfrin. That's where her story began, right? That was the tale that began. It began in the family. It began in your environment. What kind of story are you leaving for your ancestors? That they can look back and say, Grandpa Joe had the golden ticket, right? He did the dance, right? You know, we keep his memory alive, right? How are you doing that in your life? What kind of memory are you leaving uh, for the world, my friends? You have a story, and all of our stories matter. So think about your life in that way. Your choices matter. What you do now matters because it changes the direction of the world. Your decisions now will affect the decisions of your ancestors. Think you really do have the weight on your shoulders, right? You know, how you want to live now is very important, right? Don't think of your life you're just a slave to the grind. You just eat, drink, and shit and die, right? You have so much potential, right, in your creativity. Leave a memory, my friends. Write a poem and put that poem in a safe place for one of your ancestors to find. Tell a story, write it down, leave it in a place. Share your experiences with the people around you, right? Document, you know, leave a memory for the generations to come. You want it to be baked into a loaf of cornbread. I mean, think about that. You know, you're providing sustenance for the next generation. These stories of people and how they cook, they create memories. Look at the doctor, right? His cauldron, right? These leave memories for your ancestors, right? The right of a meal is a sacred thing. Be the best father you can be the best mother, be the best sister, be the best neighbor, right? Your memory creates another memory, and another person takes that memory, right? There are some people that the world will never know about, but without that person, there will never be a world. Think about that. There's those silent voices that cry out in the wilderness, make way the way of the Lord, right? John the Baptist. He was a passing memory, right? That was needed for there to be a Lord, right? Um, Cool hand, mountain man. Good to have you here, our good friend. That is how I would have it so. Yep. Your grandmother made the best cornbread. Yeah, see that now you have a memory, right, of your grandmother. My grandmother has left our family great memories. She was an Olympian, right? My grandmother was doing all of these sports and things all the time, into, even into the senior Olympics, right? She was very talented and had all of these great memories that we could tell stories about. You don't want to be remembered, but you are part of a generational group of witches, right? Your memory has great value and potential. You are going to share what you have with your family. It's going to continue on. So do your witchcraft in the most unique and special way, right? Add to the elements. They used certain types of cauldrons. Put a smile on your cauldron. Continue the memory in your own way, right? Be unique. Jamie is here. Good to see you, our good friend Jamie. Good to have you here. You need to carry a leak. It's the law. I got one in my pants. You are so loved. You deserve to be remembered. And you will be, my friends. Your memory is immortal. It is always going to be here. So create great memories, right? Create great memories for the gods, the angels to sing about, right? There are beings, believe it or not, that sing your song, that sing your story. There will always be bards talking about how you are loved, how important you are in your life, right? Your line ends with me, your ancestors are probably this. Now, maybe in the type of generational, your physical generation, right, in terms of children, but your memory continues, my friend. The Cool Hand Mountain Man, wherever you have a footprint on that mountain, there's a memory there in that land. You know, you are never alone. You are never alone, my friends. Atrocities, I don't bring up legacy. Yeah, we all have a legacy in our own way. We all have a legacy in our own way. They can clone corn. Now, that's an interesting topic. Um, the idea of cloning the foods. Um, some say that this is a way forward, but it has been demonstrated that these processes of cloning the food is making it more and more artificial. And I think there's something about digging a hole in the ground and creating real corn that creating corn in a factory does not have. There's a spiritual element that is lost, right? When you're creating an artificial form of food. The idea of me growing the corn is an act of being a priest and providing you spirituality. You don't get that with the Star Trek, food processing machine, right? There's a lack of connection to the earth. There's a lack of. It's certainly a topic to be discussed, right? She cloned her dog. Yeah. Is it really the dog, right? The idea of this, our sciences have value and purpose, right? But where is it going to take us? At some point, we're going to cease to be human. And you begin to lose your humanity when you're no longer connected to the land beneath your feet. And we see that in terms of our psychology, right? We have been conditioned to be separated from our world, and that has caused a mental health crisis. We have been conditioned to be separated from our world, and now we have an environmental crisis. All of this taking away from the natural, uh, not all of it is bad. It's what you're doing with it, right, which becomes unhealthy. If we are not careful as a species, we're going to end up becoming Cybertron, a lifeless planet that just exists, right, without really any spiritual root, right? A tomato or potato tomato, I don't know. Corn is good in movie theaters. Oh, certainly, right? Bananas are different. It's totally different thing. Banana in the plantain. That's what a lot of my people from Cuba and the islands, they love those plantains downright. We have a plantain tree behind my house. Um, my neighbors love going there and getting it. You love corn with the K. Yeah. They've been around since I was a teenager, right? The 90s or my early 20s. I can't remember when corn. I think I was 18 years old when corn first showed up in the 90s, way back then. That was a long time ago. Yeah, I'm all drenched with the sweats here. It's very hot out here right now. The sun is in its pristine condition here. You've been sent from the kingdom of flabbergasted. Oh, welcome. Um, where's he? Your favorite fruit is barred. Well, that costs money to do that type of sexuality that you want. What was funny yesterday? I learned a new term. I had my daughter educate me on it. I thought this. I offended one of my players in the game. They were talking about demisexuals, and they were I don't know what the context was, but the person that was saying it was a deity, a demigod. So I thought it was something to do with them, and I started making fun of it. And she's like, "Oh, homophobic are we?" I'm like, "No." And then I had my daughter educate me what a demisexual was. I didn't know what that was. And it's a person that it does not find attraction in the normal methods of humanity. Like I have a sexual attraction based on physical appearance of another. A demisexual would only be attracted, like if, for instance, they saw you reading a book or something, right? So I learned a new terminology yesterday. It has nothing to do with demigods. But if you watched my game last night, that's what that was about. Not a fan of transitional lenses. Florida is sunny. Yeah, I hate my couple of my kids have transitional lenses. Yeah, it's they're always turning dark when they're walking outside, and yeah, I hate wearing glasses. I know I need to go get a pair because something's going on with my eyes. Yeah, don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you, my friends. I'm almost at the end of the show here. I'm going to be back on later today at some point, probably around noon, to play some video games with you. We got to finish Halo. We're going through the campaign of the new Halo, Campaign Evolved, as it's called. It's going to be released on Xbox Game Pass in 2 days. I have been privileged to have the early release, so I've been playing that with all of you. It's fun. Halo's a fun game, fun memories. The best part of Halo for me is the ending, when you're driving your Warthog trying to escape the exploding Halo. That is the best part. So that should be in a few hours from now. I'll be on probably around 12, or maybe 11:30, around there, finishing up the campaign with you today, and other fun things await. Tomorrow morning I'll be back on at 7, of course, and then also 2 shows every day for the rest of the summer is my plan. The Flood, yeah. I love Halo lore, right? It's really interesting. It's a very fun game. I love the television show. You are pro-Flood. Let it happen. Yeah, just let them consume the universe. Take care, Goblin. Take care of yourself. Swiftwind Aquarius is here. Good to see you. Our good friend, the Reverend Aquarius, as we know him. He runs our section of spirituality on our Discord channel, doing the rituals and prayers and things for people that are into that. I got about 10 more minutes to be with you, my friends. There's Lewis here. Lewis, last night we did his quest. One of his creatures that he created was being inappropriate, and all of the group had to go put a stop to it, right? Yeah, we with my players, whatever choices they make, or I always make sure that there's a quest for everyone, right? There's a quest for everyone. The Pope of Dope, as we know him, he is part of the religion called Stoned Again Christianity. If you saw him last night in our D&D game, one reefer right after another. If you saw that last night, one reefer right after another. No battles. Yeah, all role-playing last night. There was no battles at all. Just fun conversations. And one of our players had a meltdown, but she's okay now, right? But that was fun. When she got out of control, we got a lot of laughs out of it. Some people have disabilities, and we have a good time with them when they realize I've gone too far, right? Oh, there's the crow. You hear him? Yes, Morfrin, do you have anything else to say? Yeah, you see, he's got a sense of humor too, right? You got the best of luck with your day. You've got uncle duties today to perform. Look at that. You got the uncle duties. You're creating a legacy with your nieces and nephews and everything. Look at that. Yeah, all of these wonderful people, I appreciate you being here every day with me, right? And all the great conversations that we have on here together. It was the perfect amount of far. Yeah, you had a good time. Lewis had a good time saving his little rooster who had gone out of hand. Right now, Lewis has an interesting character. He is an inappropriate druid. He likes shape-shifting in various animals to explore his sexuality. So it's all for humor. And I'm glad Lewis has a good sense of humor. because some people would get pissed off for their DMs leading them into that. But Lewis has a great sense of humor um, to have his druid. We do take his druid seriously. He's part of an underdog theme. You know, eventually Lewis is going to return to the underdog at some point to deal with his former captors. So that's all in the future. Clucky is your chicken. Yeah, yeah. You ain't allowed to call yourself dumb, damn it. Yeah, you really play the thing good. Yeah, you do. We have a lot great humor. We have a good time. All of my players, everyone's always laughing. That's what I try to do in my games. If you watch them, yeah. Lewis better have a sense of humor as much as he smokes. Yeah, if you watch Lewis, it's one reefer right after another during the games, right? That's part of the fun. It's reefer madness through the entire time. Sometimes Lewis gets so high that he does Leroy Jenkins. He just runs through all the traps. He's like, I'm high. I'm just going to run through all the traps, right? Setting them all off, right? D&D was fun yesterday. You had a good time watching, yeah. If you haven't watched it yet, I did a 7-minute video from my game called D&D Nerds. Go check it out. Give it a like. It was like the best part of the game when kobolds were demanding equal rights from people above, mistreating them for being dragons and mistreating them for their religion. It was kind of a fun political twist to the game with lots of humor. Yeah. Lewis be blowing 1/8, no problem. Yeah. No, Lewis smokes an ounce, at least a half ounce during the game, I would imagine. Yeah. 1/8 is like one reefer for Lewis, right? Yeah. Lewis doesn't mess around. He's got all these reefers. 1/8 is a reefer, right? Show your magic. Give me $20 first. I'll show you some magic. Sometimes I just do it to pass ardor. Piss ardor. About 1/8 of blunt. Yeah, see? I mean, that's when I was younger, we would get probably 1/8 every 2 or 3 days would be 1/8, right? That's when 1/8 costs like $25 for basic, $20 for the shitty stuff, $35 for like hydroponics. So that was the marijuana prices when I was like a teenager. I don't know what they would be now. I can only imagine the inflation of reefer, right? The amount. You're liking this conversation? No, we're glad to have you here. You vape your medical weed or use a gummy? Yeah, I'm a gummy person as well. I wouldn't mind smoking a reefer again. One of my sons, he smokes reefers, but my wife is like, do not ask him to get you a reefer. That would be inappropriate. So I've never done that. I would never ask because when your children are, they're experimenting with things. You don't want to contribute to their substance uses, right? Yeah. Everyone. Yeah. You switch to gummies for your lungs' sake. Yeah. Yeah. There's been a lot of, marijuana smoke. I don't think is historically been damaging to people. I mean, the studies that we have, right? Unlike tobacco smoke. The reason why tobacco smoke is terrible is because of all the chemicals that they put in it, right? Traditional smoking of tobacco, I don't think has caused as much health issues as modern tobacco use. But I could be wrong. Some of you might be scientists and say, this is the problem, right? Let's see, the good old, just listening to the German guy talk about weed. I'm not German, damn it. I'm an entertainer. I am an American. Had a big, Kali had a big what? Scandal with a lot of top extract producers having insanely high amounts of heavy metals in their vapes. Yeah, that has become a problem with vape using. Um, they said it's much better than smoke, but there's been a lot of studies that say this is terrible for your lungs, right? You smoke raw tobacco, so you are safe, right? The traditional indigenous people with the tobacco, right? Am I top or bottom? It depends on what day of the week. Tuesdays, I'm the catcher. Thursdays, I'm the pitcher. So I switch it up, right? Oh, I'm sorry. You are definitely sound German. Well, the accent is Waterdavian, sir. It is Waterdavian. Uh, people think I am all kinds of things, but Northern warts. Maybe that's why it sounds German to you. Yes, the confusion happens all the time. All right. We have come to the conclusion, my friends. I will be returning to you in the future here, maybe in an hour and a half, 2 hours, to finish our Halo campaign, live streamed later on today. And whatever happens after that happens. I've had a good time with you. And also tomorrow morning, I'll be back as well. If you don't, some people don't, they're not interested in watching games, right? But if you like watching games, I'm playing the new Halo that is in early access. It's going to be released in a few days, and you get the pleasure of seeing it firsthand. They've reamped it. Cortana looks completely different, right? There's new missions and things that they put into the game, and they made the multiplayer the entire campaign, which was that is a new thing they have done. All right, my friends, I will return to you later. Have a great rest of your day.